Hey, what up? I think I'm here. I think I'm here. Is there anybody with me? Whoa, 10 people. This is amazing. Hello, hello, hello. From the post office. That's impressive, Sarah. I should move this chat so I'm not like staring up at the ceiling. Hello. Boom Buddy, the man, Pia. Oh my gosh, mailing packages. That's what we do at the post office for sure. So I'll give folks like a couple of minutes. Hello, Jess, to wander in. But the goal here is just to get people situated in terms of how does all this Roll20 stuff work. So the deal is, as we're like piling up a ton of characters, everybody's starting to like get to second level. It's a lot for all of us to keep track of. And as people are leveling up with all these different types of character sheets, I got a fancy mic. I'm living the good life, Jess. So yeah, like as everybody's hitting second level and we've been helping people level up, it's like a bit of a headache because everybody's using different formats. You get people on D&D Beyond, people with paper sheets, people with like I'm close to a regular podcaster. Um, People with that big gigantic sheet that I sent you guys, which is useful but also a little overwhelming, which is kind of my brand, I guess. So yeah, Roll20 is very cool because we can load it in all the sheets in here. The DMs can see them in real time. One of you guys levels up, we can just jump in and like the driver's ed seat. We can like sit there next to you and kind of guide you into whatever it is we're doing. So I guess this is officially the start. Let's like dig into it here because I don't want to make this too long. But as I send you guys the link, when you click on the link for the Roll20, this is where you're going to find yourself. This is like the opening screen, right? So our big key here is we want to go down and go for that purple button, launch game. Once you launch the game, it's going to actually bring you into the virtual tabletop, right? Excuse me. I've not been talking to anybody except my dog all day. So now here we go. Boom. We're like loading into the virtual tabletop itself. Roll20 has like a ton of really deep functionality. I've found it like super useful for all my home games, pretty much through all of 5th edition. But it could be a lot as well. And it's very sort of clunky to navigate through. So a lot of you guys have been through this already, but just to like get started, we get in here. If this is your first time, the first thing you want to do is go way over here to the top right. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse real well, but above the chat, we have this little gear icon, My Settings, right? So we're going to click on that, open it up. We scroll down a little bit. There's all these click boxes. I like enable 3D dice and automatically roll 3D dice. That's cool. Now if we throw dice fall on the chat. Yay, they're orange. Cool. Awesome. So then if we scroll down a little more, my settings are going to be different than yours because I'm in the DM mode. But here, this one is key. Player, video, avatar size. You want to set that to names only. That's going to get rid of all these boxes down here at the bottom left corner of your screen that are incredibly obnoxious, right? And then if we scroll down even further, the very kind of bottom drop downs that we got here, I want to broadcast to others. I want to receive from others. Set those both to nothing. Roll20 has this built-in video and voice. It's cool, but it's not ideal. You're better off using like Discord or Skype or Zoom or Google Hangouts or whatever because it eats your bandwidth and jams you up and it's not very clean. So that's the settings. Okay. Now we might as well look at the rest of this stuff while we're over here. This is the thing about Roll20. You have to click in and out of a lot of stuff, right? So the little bubble up here, like the cartoon dialogue bubble, this is our chat. This is where all the dice rolls that we throw are going to fall, and they will show themselves in the chat. If somebody uses an ability or clicks on a spell or dumps a bunch of information out there for us, it comes here in the chat. This is a like primary interface that we're going to use if we're playing in here. When I roll live sessions, I like using Roll20. We can have cool maps, dynamic lighting, fog of war, all this sort of cool stuff, right? So that's the chat. The one that looks like a little postcard, it's It's got a little black thing like a stamp up in the top left corner, right? That's the journal. This is the other major place you guys are going to go. Once we open the journal, we can see we got a whole bunch of folders, yada, yada, yada. Enemies, you don't need to worry about those. Look at all this stuff you guys can't see. Oh, don't screenshot it. Characters. This is the real juice. Here's where you guys are. Super cool, right? Aglar Ovalon just appeared last night, right? Let's grab Arnold. We love Arnold. Everybody knows Arnold. So, once you open up the journal, you open up the character folder. Here's the list. You should be in here. I'm trying to get everybody loaded as quickly as I can. The character sheet itself has a couple of little things going on. It starts on the bio and info page. We have a picture here. You guys as players with access to your sheets, if you would like, you can click edit. And you could put a bunch of information in here. I'm a robot. Right? And we save it. This is all like forward-facing stuff. Now, anybody who looks at Arnold's sheet can see whatever he put in there. Descriptions about yourself, your equipment, things that might not be conveyed in the 1,000 words of the picture. This is the place for you guys to put that. Feel free to like go in and edit the front end of your sheet. Load your bio up with whatever you want, like forward-facing to the rest of the group, right? But you see, we got a couple of tabs. Attributes and abilities, don't worry about this. There's a lot of confusing math and programming, coding. If you're into that space, check it out. But otherwise, the character sheet tab in the middle, this is what we want, right? Now, you could grab your corner. You can make it bigger. You can make it smaller. A couple of things. Up here next to the name in the header, if you double-click, we can minimize these sheets right on our map. This is how I manage having like 30 NPCs on a screen at once in big combat, right? Double-click it again, it pops back up. It's probably really hard for you guys to see on this screen with the light map, but it's pretty obvious. Also, you have this little button up here in the top. This can pop the whole thing right out. Now Arnold's gone because I yanked him off the page, but for those of you guys who like pop-ups, multiple windows, the pop-up is pretty useful, right? So, the character sheet itself, this is where all the juice is. There's a lot of cool stuff, but again, like, we got to click around a lot. So we see we have these couple of buttons here in the top right of your sheet: core, bio, and spells. Spells, some of you guys are never going to have them, no worries. Core, this is the primary part of your sheet. It's set up like very, very similarly to any other D&D sheet that you guys have probably been looking at over the last couple of weeks or using, right? Your attributes, all the stats. Now, part of what's cool about Roll20, it's not as important for us. All this stuff is hyperlinked. If I mouse over strength, it lights up. I can click it. That's a strength roll. It just rolled 1d20 plus 1 for Aglar's strength, right? Same with all of this stuff. Saving throws, it's all automatically populated. Your skill list here at the middle, right? We got your armor class. Yeah, look at this. Got people rolling dice. You guys are alive. In the middle, you got your armor class, initiative, your movement speed, hit points. This is super important. If you're tracking your hit points on here, do not touch the little hit point maximum number. Just adjust it in the big box. If we focus in, where is our boy Aglar? So, on the map, we have this slider scale up here in the top right. This is our zoom. You could push down on your mouse wheel to kind of orient yourself around, right? But so we can see this is Aglar's token. It's a big mess. I got too many people here. If I adjust his hit points on the character sheet to 5, that'll change right there on the token on the sheet, on the map rather. And inversely, conversely, whatever, if we click on your token, the little green bubble in the middle of the 3 circles represents your hit points. So I could just change it there and it'll change on the sheet. No, it won't. I lied. It's only got one-way functionality, but still, it's pretty good, right? We got a little bit of like automation tracking happening here. Cool. So the rest of this stuff on your sheet, you have your items all listed down here at the bottom. You guys find new stuff. You want to add new stuff. You click the little add symbol. Gives you a whole new line. All these things can be opened up with the small bubble on the bottom right. Will actually open the item, and you could go in. A lot of them will have descriptions inside, things that you want to add descriptions to. You're more than welcome to, of course. Cool. Now, stuff that's in here like scimitar we see is a weapon, leather armor. This is equipment. The weapons that are in here are going to populate themselves in this middle row, attacks and spell casting. We can also see a bunch of these things are locked. I can like unlock it and move it around, put his scimitar up here at the top if that's going to be the first kind of thing he's using, right? Doesn't matter as much. It's really organizational for your own sake, however you feel good about it, right? But we can see all his spells are loaded in here as well, which is super cool for you spellcasters. You have a quick reference right in the front of your sheet, the save DC. And same deal, we can click on anything in this attack column, and it will dump the information out into the chat for us, which is dope. Right? So that's like the real basics. Over here, languages, weapons, armor proficiencies, nice big list, easy to read, right? Tool proficiencies in this little box. These are kind of cool because tool proficiencies, we use different attributes. So when we go to click on it, herbalism kit attribute it asks. So the DM may say roll herbalism and intelligence. And we can tell it to do that. Boom, it rolls. Cool. Now, the real like juice on this front page, the best kind of stuff in my humble opinion, your special features, these features and traits in the bottom right. This is where most of like your crazy class abilities are going to start loading in. Now, they're all small right now. And if we just click on the dialogue bubble, it'll go into the chat. Bam, discovery. It tells us what his background hermit feature is, right? But if we click just underneath the title, these will all open up. And you can just sit and read them at your leisure. It's all right there for you on your sheet, right? There's a lot of information stored in these sheets, and what I find useful about them compared to the other PDFs or even like a handwritten sheet is that it's all there. This is like verbatim, the text out of the rules from the books. And in terms of like learning how to play this game, there's so much stuff to absorb, you know. I take it for granted that I've been doing it for 30 years and like a lot of it's just kind of like programmed into the code of my being. But being able to read this stuff in the moment in a session and understand, wait, how does ritual casting work? What is my Vidalcan dispassion? How does that work? That's really cool, right? So just to go back, we're looking at these tabs on the top right of your sheet. Let's check out bio. Aglar's is not very filled out yet. For a lot of you guys, I have started filling them out already. People who had a lot of information there. Backamore has a lot of stuff going on, right? His allies, his friends, some of the people who've pissed him off at the Tequila Mockingbird. His backstory, don't read that. That's secret. Your age, your height, your weight, your eyes, your skin, your hair, character appearance. This is all like notes for you, really. Again, like there's no mechanical implications here. We're not going to roll any of this stuff, but it's a great place for us to be able to reference this stuff, the DMs, I mean, in a session to like look at these little things that we might have missed before we're going to like sit down and actually play with you. So that's cool. And for you guys who are spellcasters, here's the real cool stuff. Bam, the spell sheet, right? Now, druids are like clerics. They get a whole giant list of spells they have to choose through every day. So this is literally all the first level druid spells. And here's Aglar's, 2 cantrips that he selected. And just like on the front of the page, back here, we can click them and they will dump into the chat. We have to go back to the chat to read them, though. Now, if you click the eye, it'll open up, expand, just like with your special abilities on the front page. If you click this dialogue bubble, it will put the whole text into the chat, right? Now, there's a lot like deeper functionality here. I can open up Produce Flame and set it as an actual attack and put damage in and all of this, right? We don't need to worry about that stuff, but if you're interested in digging into Roll20, there's like a lot here for you. There really is like an incredible amount of horsepower attached to this whole system, right? Also, great reference. What's your spell DC? It's always right here on your spell page. Bam. What's your spell attack bonus? Same deal, right? So that's the basics of your character sheet and how to like kind of interact and move through it. Oh, look at this. Casey's on his sheet. The driver's ed instructor is now relegated to the passenger seat. So, does all this make sense? Does anybody have any questions? I'm trying to keep up with the chat. There's a lot of you guys. I see nothing. I will press on. So, we've talked about these buttons over here on the right side. The main ones you're going to move back and forth from are the chat, the little dialogue bubble, The journal, this is where all your stuff is. Magic items. Whoa, who's got magic items? Only Arnold's. Animals. You druids are going to be shape-shifting like wild. If there are animals that you want to be using, let me know what they are. I can start loading them up in here. And then when Kamaya transforms into a brown bear, I can literally give her access to this sheet, which is a really cool feature. And she'll be able to just go in here and use the bear's character sheet when we go. And it's really cool. I can like attach tokens to my sheets, so now I just drag stuff out here and all of a sudden there's monsters all over the place. Oh my god, it's a giant eagle. Giant eagles could have solved the whole thing right out of the gate, right? Cool. That's mostly DM stuff. No worries about all this. But I tried to keep most of the animals visible to you guys. You can kind of peruse them, look through. Enemies, right? We got a bunch of baddies, things that we might have encountered thus far. I can pop stuff out gigantic like that. Oh my god, it's terrifying. That thing is hiding out near the Fox Glove farm. Somebody's going to have to deal with it pretty quickly, right? So I like to, after the players encounter some like crazy thing like this, I leave the picture open. So you guys can come in here and kind of reference this stuff. What are the sorts of things you might have encountered already? You know, these are all from adventures I ran, right? But the deadly cockatrice chickens, the boggle in the basement, and the demon in the ice cave, right? All cool stuff. Nice. Handouts. I'll put a bunch of handouts out here. Things like maps, pictures, letters, just cool features. But to the functionality. So we're going to go to the last thing on this top right. This is really, really, really cool, you guys. So if you click on the little I with the circle around it, the letter I up at the top, this is the Compendium, right? In the Compendium is everything. Not really. It's pretty limited. A lot of stuff's locked behind a paywall, right? But in other words, I can open the spells and go through the list, and man, here's all the spells, right? You may see more on my list than what you have. I have purchased a bunch of books because we have like 30-something people in this particular game. I can't share them all with you, but what I can do is like build the character sheet for you and load all this stuff in really quickly. Because what's also cool about this, I'm gonna mess with Aglar for a minute because he trusts me. What's cool about this, right? So Aglar's a druid. He doesn't get any of this stuff. But let's just say Aglar found an item. Oh, I'm messing with your sheet, Casey. And it gave him Charm Monster. I can literally drag Charm Monster over here and put it on his sheet. And all of a sudden, boom, it's just loaded right up. Drag and drop functionality, right? It's there. It's on the sheet. I don't want him to have Charm Monster. He's only first level. It's a 4th level spell. So I shall delete it. But to that end, be careful with what you guys are doing in here. Generally, you do not want to like unlock your stuff. If you unlock your column, you can accidentally start deleting spells and items, and that's a headache. But so for you spellcasters, for the sorcerers and the warlocks and the clerics and the druids and the wizards and everybody else I'm forgetting, you got great functionality. You can drag and drop all these spells. Now, Roll20 is a little clunky to get out of the spells. I have to scroll all the way to the top, and I got to X out of this like search bar, and now it'll go back to all the upper categories. So let's look at items, right? This is the other big one, right? The list of items here. I should be messing with maybe my own character sheet so as not to hassle all you guys. Huh? So let's say Andromeda's Vesk, after skulking around through the streets of Glarendar one night, finds some illicit merchant in the Alchemist Guild who will sell her Alchemist Fire. So we can just click on Alchemist Fire and it opens it right up. Tells us what it does, tells us the range, all this kind of stuff. Doesn't give us a cost, but that's for a DM to figure out anyway. But okay, I negotiate. I haggle with Austin, the hard-edged shopkeeper, and I'm going to get my Alchemist Fire for 60 gold pieces, so now I could just drop it on the sheet. Accepting drop from Compendium? Yes, boom. And now at the bottom of my items list, here it is, Alchemist Fire, right? So this is really cool for you guys. As you're out and about in the world, you're coming up with stuff on your adventures. I just killed a bunch of guards and stole all their short swords and shields. You can come in here. You can scroll yourself. I don't know why I'm scrolling so slowly. You can get yourself right down to short swords. There's also search functionality. I like to work for it. You could type short sword in the top. It'll bring it right up. But we can just start grabbing short sword. Boom, put it on the sheet. And then this first column is the number. I'm going to just change it to 3. Okay, blam, I get 3 short swords, right? Nice. So this is a lot of the utility I think you guys will find in here. And again, like some classes are going to be much more complex than others, but you have all of these abilities, your features, your class features on the side, which can be a lot and overwhelming. So you're able to load all of them up in entirety into your sheet, and you can read them here, but we can also just dump them in the chat so everybody can see them, right? This is part of how, like, the druid learns how a wizard plays and how the fighter learns how a rogue plays. Like, as we sit at the table with each other rolling dice and playing this game, you see what the other folks are doing, and being able to dump the information out here, and now during the round while I'm waiting for my turn to come back, I can read what exactly magical tinkering does. And all of a sudden I'm like, oh, when my character ends up dead at the end of the night, I'm like, no, it's fine. I really want to play, an artificer. So that's all good stuff. The rest of the Roll20 functionality, it's really deep, you guys. There's a lot of like hotkeys. We can type in the chat and do like /R1D20, just like we do in the Discord to roll dice. But we have this whole set of buttons on the left side of the screen. Excuse me. Again, Roll20 really wants you to like click around a lot, okay? So the main one, the select button, right, this arrow, as long as we have that, we can grab our token and move them. You won't be able to move the other players, only your own. The DMs can move anything on the screen, right? But all I'm doing is clicking on it and holding down left click, and now I'm releasing it, and I'm dropping Zarin wherever I want. If I just hold down left click, it'll ping on the map. This is really useful for the DMs, for the other players, when I'm like, no, not that guy, this guy. Not that guy, this guy, right? Cool stuff. The color, if you notice all these little nameplates at the bottom that I had you guys collapse, there's a color next to you. If you click on your color, you can change it. That'll change the color of your dice. That'll change the color of your pings and stuff on the actual map, right? Cool. Blue. That's Melissa. Hi, Melissa. So that's really cool stuff, right? Now, objects, you can draw stuff. You don't need to worry about that. Layers, you guys don't have. Drawing is really annoying. You can do this, but then I'm just going to have to like grab it and try to delete it off the map. And I accidentally deleted Darkhold, right? So let's avoid that. Oops. That's not Darkhold's good token. So last couple of things. I have weird stuff like spell effects here. That's kind of fun. That's cool. There's a magnifying glass if you prefer to use this for the zoom. I don't know why you would. You can hit control and use your mouse wheel to scroll in and out. You can also use the slider like we showed you up here on the top right. And if you click and hold down on your mouse wheel, you can move yourself around the map, right? This next one, this circle with the little like ruler thing sticking out of the top right corner, it's a ruler. So this is not as useful for us out here in this big map. This is kind of just a reference point for you guys to see Forgotten Realms, for us to see all the players in the game, right? But having the ruler is super helpful. My color is not super helpful because we probably can't see it, but you're able to measure out distances in combat, your range for spells. If you were here, let's put us on a different map, let's say. Ooh, we haven't been there yet. Look at all these secret maps. Are you guys taking notes? So, we fought here last week, but let's just say we needed to figure out who's here. Aglar is over here. How far is he from the door? He's 45 feet, right? But wait, like he needs to get around somebody over here and go this way. So if I'm basically... I hold down left click, that makes the line. Then if I click right click, I get a waypoint and I can pivot off it, right? And so that can be like really helpful. Also, if we hold down right click, we can just grab and pull the map around as we want. So the problem is, now I use my ruler. I want my token. I can't get it. I can't get it. I have to go back over here. I have to click the arrow at the top. Now I can grab the token and select and move them around, right? If that's cool. Other things on here, mostly not relevant for you guys. I have Fog of War. You don't need to worry about that. This is the initiative tracker. When we have combat, I'll try to load this initiative tracker up. We're not always going to be playing in here, but basically the idea is if you click on your token and then you go in here and like I said, everything on this sheet's hyperlinked. So I'm just going to mouse over initiative. I'm going to click it, boom. And because I had my token selected, Andromeda's Vest gets loaded in at 15 on the initiative tracker. And this is I've gotten spoiled with this. It's a really excellent automated way to keep track of 15 people in combat, right? D&D does not respect the Pythagorean theorem anymore, Melissa. It used to, and that was not such a great thing. I'll just say that. D&D players are not always masters of geometry. So the final big thing I just want to show you guys before we leave here, I showed you a little bit, but the dice. We can mouse over this dice icon on the stack on the bottom left, right? And it gives us a cool little dropout panel, right? For any basics here, I can do, D12, 3D12, 5D12, right? Dice flying all over the place, nice. But this last piece is very cool, the advanced dice roller. I've had it collapsed, hiding up here this whole time. We could set this up to do a bunch of stuff, right? Like when I want to drop a meteor swarm, when Vecna comes to burn down Glarendar, I can do 5D100. Ooh, it's working really hard. There's so many people in here, right? And I just rolled the whole bajillion dice and got 251 points of damage. Everybody does. So, yeah. That's the basics, you guys. This is the sort of entry-level walkthrough of here's 20 minutes on how to figure out how to wander around Roll20. If I've dragged you in here from the post-show recaps patron Discord. Do any of you guys have any questions before I bounce? Thank you all for stopping. I hope this was useful. Can we do a level up? We can totally do a level up. That's a really great idea. So thank you for that question. So for most of the characters in here, right, we didn't talk about this last thing, which is the gear icon, because I don't really need you guys mucking around back here too much. There's a lot of control that we have back here in the back of the sheet. I can set all kinds of things. As you start to understand D&D better, and for those of you who really know the game deeply, most of this will make more sense than to folks who don't. But the key, the big cool thing is down here, bottom right. We have this character mancer, right? So in other words, all these books that I've bought are loaded in here. The rules are built into the compendium of the Roll20. I built all of these characters using the character mancer. So as you level up, I can literally just click this button and it's going to bring us in to advance the druid, right? Here's hit points. Let's choose which druid circle: druid of dreams, druid of land, of the moon, of the shepherd, and it will automatically load all this stuff. So as you guys are coming up on level ups, I'm sure we'll have some in the next week. Maybe I'll see if I can find a volunteer for tribute to come back on here with me next week, and I can walk them through a level up in here and show you guys how to do it. But the character mancer is dope because I'll say 70% of the character options that people are using in our game so far, I have access to built in the Roll20. Like I said, I can't share them. In a smaller game, if it were only 6 or 8 of us in here, I could share all those books with you. But as of now, I have to actually do the update to be able to get all that functionality out of it. Cool. I'm glad this was helpful, Sarah. I really am. Ariel, no worry, you're in here, buddy. I have, look, Fierro the Recalcitrant. There he is. He just has no image. Fierro is ready to adventure. That is what you deserve. Faceless name in the forest. I'm just kidding. You deserve much better than that. Cool. So, yeah, if nobody else has any crazy questions, I invite you guys to have fun, roll dice in here. The settings, feel free to learn them. I know, like Brenna was talking about, like, she just clicked through everything. Like, it's cool. If you mangle your character sheet and completely delete it, I'll be a little disappointed at putting it back in again. But do your thing. Like, play around in here and see what you can learn on your own. I'm pretty well versed in the functionality of it, but I want to try to keep this concise, that's a word, without drowning everybody in too much again. So unless anybody's got any other like really specific questions, I'm going to meander off into the world, eat myself some dinner. You guys can hit me up in the Discord, ask me anything you need. I'm going to keep this VOD up here. I'll throw a link to it and probably pin it somewhere in the 1,000 D&D channels. So as new folks are coming in, like, don't be afraid to reference them to this. And just to double down, there are much deeper, better, probably more effective Roll20 tutorials like all over the internet. If you're really like into Roll20 and you're curious about like what else is going on in here, go scope all that out. But I've found it to be a super, super useful tool in my personal life playing my private games. The West Marches game that kind of inspired me to take this to post show recaps and say like this can work. We've been running for 3 years, and so it's got 1,000 NPCs. Every NPC they meet, every monster they've ever fought or defeated, it's all there. And it's kind of like getting to the end of like a Final Fantasy and having that bestiary and being able to like go back and look at stuff. And it's a great way to share information. So if that is it, friends, I wish you all well. I will see you at the gaming table. We will throw dice. I'm really like excited about everything that's happening, and thank you guys for making post show recaps a place where we play D&D now, because that's pretty cool. All right, thank you guys. Thank you all for stopping in. Everybody have a great afternoon. Bye.